Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to episode 1033 of One Piece. So, last time, Nami about to kill a bitch. She got really pissed. Like, I think this is... we've seen Nami get angry before, obviously, but outside of, like, the more comical scenes where she's, like, angry at, like, Luffy or other crew members for being stupid or whatnot, we don't see Nami get, like, genuinely pissed. Unless it's something that's important to her character. And one of the things that gets Nami heated the most is when kids are hurt or, you know, experimented on. In the case of Punk Hazard and stuff. So seeing Ulti smack Tama away and everything set Nami off to a point where all that fear she had, like, remember when she was, like, fighting Ulti before and Ulti, like, had her in her grip, and even though she, like, still stated that Luffy will be king of the pirates and all, she was the most scared she's ever been. She was crying, she was, like, freaked out, she's just barely there. That's how, like, just terrified she was. And yet now she's standing up to Ulti with fire in her eyes. All because Ulti hurt Tama. And yeah, you could say that it's like just the general, like, okay, Tama is so precious and should be protected and all. But again, think about Nami's past. Think about what she went through at 8 years old. Having to see her mother shot and killed in front of her. Becoming a slave to Arlong pirates. Becoming just someone who had to eventually stab herself in the arm out of pain and depression and anger because of what Arlong did to betray her after the fact, to go back on his promise to free the village. Nami takes children so seriously, not only just because she's a genuinely good person, but because she knows what it's like to be hurt as a child. Not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. So, seeing her snap like that, to see her stand up so strongly against someone who she previously, you know, was terrified of, it's important, and it's a great display of her character. It's great writing that has precedence from what we've seen of her in the past. It doesn't come out of nowhere. It doesn't change her character or go against what we've seen before. It's perfectly reasonable, honestly. And it makes me like her character so much more. But we also got glimpses of other stuff here and there. There's just a lot of other stuff going down. But as I keep bringing up, we still haven't gotten to more of the Jinbei Who's Who fight or Black Maria versus Robin. And those are the two fights I'm most interested in. Not just because they're my two favorite members of the crew, but because I want to see how these fights go down. With how Robin entered into the fight saving Sanji, I want to see how her and Black Maria ends up going down, how they end up fighting, and how seriously and how strong Robin ends up being in this. I'm very excited for that, and also, yeah, Robin is my favorite character. And yeah, that does lead to some level of interest because of that, but I just want to see how this fight is going to happen. It was so well built up, and then because of, the fact that there's just so much happening, it's had to have been dropped for so long. So I'm just really excited for it. And Jinbei and Who's Who didn't get as much build up. It just kind of showed like the very beginning of the bout. But this one is like, Jinbei is the newest member of the crew. And we know how Jinbei fights. Like, we've seen him fight plenty. But the big interest factor here is more in regards to Who's Who. I want to see him fight and how Jinbei deals with someone like him. Because we know that Kaido's crew is on a whole new level. And Jinbei's strong, and he was working with a Yonko crew before, but that doesn't mean he has necessarily a lot of experience fighting a Yonko crew. So it's quite a different situation. Excuse me. But I'm very, very invested to see how those battles go down, and even all the other battles too, of course. I don't know what to expect with this episode. Just don't know what's going to happen at all. But let's just get going and find out. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Well, Luffy has been defeated by Kaido once again for the third time. Twice in this roof piece fight alone. My only question is, why is he falling off of Onigashima? Like, I understand. Like, did Kaido actually hit him there? And did he, like, knock him just fully off of Onigashima somehow? Or did something else happen? Either way, Luffy's unconscious and falling. And it's pretty clear that Luffy's probably going to be out of action for at least a little bit here. But what's going to happen next then? Are we going to start focusing on some of the other fights and everything now that we've gotten to this point? We know that Sanji is headed up to the performance floor, along with Zoro being carried around, and a couple of the Akazaya 9. We have all these fights still going on. Nami, Tama, and Usopp are now escaping after Ulti was absolutely destroyed by Big Mom. Big Mom has confronted Zeus, and we have gotten to see Zeus's replacement, Hera. who, yeah, is just a very feminine looking Cloud. But we also get to see Big Mom do a new attack that we haven't seen before. Combining Napoleon, Hera, and Prometheus, she basically creates a giant laser gun. And, again, completely destroys Ulti with it. It's pretty wild. But pretty fascinating as well. And that's mainly what we get. We get to see a little bit of Kid and whatnot, but that's basically the episode. Nami's determination and anger did save her, Usopp, and Tama for sure. While she wasn't strong enough to actually do anything against Ulti, it was definitely because of her that they were able to escape. And yeah, that led into, of course, Big Mom acting as well. And Big Mom is definitely the one who took out Ulti. But still, you have to give the credit to Nami where it is due. And now it looks like Big Mom is going to be completely abandoning Zeus. Nami seems to want nothing to do with him. So what's the plan here? Is she going to try and, remove the piece of her soul from Zeus? Because if so, would Big Mom get stronger with the pieces of her soul returned to her? I actually don't know how that would work. But that would be interesting to know. Either way, definitely some shit is going to be going down as we continue. And as always, I'm excited to see what happens. But in the meantime, tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of One Piece? And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.